You know what we call this in the United States? God's ketchup, right there.
I've never heard that before. I think he just made it up.
Is this how the other half lives all the time?
One of those things just never happened.
When somebody rips one, you know it, and it's not yours.
It was like Bugs Bunny when he like smelled the carrot soup.
That is the most random thing. What are you talking about?
It's impossible. Welcome to OverSeasoned Radio. It's October 28th. Xavier is still down in Buenos Aires. I'm here in beautiful Beacon, Cold Spring, New York, actually. We're looking forward to getting a trip to Asia coming up in a few weeks, so we're making some plans along with that. If anybody has any recommendations for where to go in Vietnam, please let us know, because we're going to take an interesting little side trip there, and we're trying to figure out what's the... well, it's all pretty easy to get to from Manila, but who's had any amazing food experiences in Vietnam? Where should we focus our efforts?
I mean, we've got some classics that we're going to be eating a lot. I feel like Vietnamese food is definitely, I feel like, one of the things Philly does really well, better than most cities.
I guess we'll find out.
You're absolutely right.
I got $20 burning a hole in my pocket, and I can't wait to eat on that for 3 days.
I can't wait to have pho for breakfast, because I hear that's a thing. Like, you don't eat at midday, but beginning and end. I might be completely off here, but I've heard that it's like a breakfast food.
I guess we'll find out. I'm very excited. I've been dying to go. You know, I'm a big pho fan, and I'm very excited to get to the source and see what's what.
Me too. I'd also like to see how long it takes before I completely, before the Pepto needs to come out. Let's just say that, because it's going to be hard to say no.
Because of the spice or because of the what?
I just feel like Southeast Asia has a thing. You know what I mean? There's no matter where you go, whether it's the spice, whether it's I just don't know. I always have this.
I think, Vietnamese food it's like got a lot of fresh herbs and broths, and there's certainly some spice, which might hit you the wrong way, but not a lot of gluten or anything like that, I wouldn't imagine.
No.
If that's still not your thing, I can't quite tell usually.
Listen, I limit myself to the things that are worth it, right? In terms of gluten. But I'm super excited about Southeast. I'm very excited about Vietnam. Bun bo hue, pho, of course.
Banh mi.
Tai chan, banh mi. Yes, I can't wait to try and learn some words, because they have their phonetic pronunciations are incredibly like back in the throat. I can't wait. I can't wait to try and get in there.
I can't wait to watch you try. Well, if anyone has any recos, let us know, because we're currently planning a trip there in the middle of our annual or semi-annual Manila trip. So this is where we've chosen to go to next, to Vietnam.
I'm excited about it.
I know you have something to talk about. You want to talk about due to your, all these amazing experiences in Argentina you're having around steak. Take 23. But have you heard of this new pineapple?
What do you mean?
There's a new pineapple. There's a new pineapple, my friend. It's like called a Colada Royale pineapple, developed by Dole.
What? Sounds like some Monsanto shit. Tell me more.
No. They've been developing it for 15 years, just using no bioengineered nothing, just cross-pollination and stuff like that.
How do you... okay. So it's just GMO.
It's been very distracting to me all day. No GM. Well, not... I guess it's like...
Not genetically modified, but crossbreeding.
They've chosen who's going to marry each other, right? So this is who you will marry and have children with, right? So
understood.
They pollinate from one, the male to the female, all that kind of stuff, and then they put a bag over it so nothing else can, no other pollinators can get in there, and then they'll continue that process until they get favorable characteristics or whatever they want, then they'll keep accentuating those. But they've been working on it for 15 years. It takes 3 years to get one round of a hybrid developed, 3 years
of a genetic stability kind of thing.
Right. Or, 3 years from
How did you
germination
hear
to
about
going.
Colada Royale?
I don't know, just like bumped across it on the internet somewhere, and it's been very distracting all day. I keep trying to learn more. I think it's really interesting. And I want to see one. I want one. Don't you?
Did they show pictures of this thing?
It looks like a pineapple, but it's
All right, that's a good
supposedly has
start.
like a smaller stem, and the flesh is white. But the flesh all looks like basically yellow to me. But it supposedly tastes like a pina colada. It's like a 7-Eleven Slurpee. I can't wait.
I mean, I love the name considering there's only one other ingredient aside from rum in a pina colada. So I guess they figured out how to get a fucking colada with the pina.
Right. Anyway, keep your eye out for the Colada Royale pineapple. I'm going to be looking for one myself.
And now I will also be on the lookout. And I want to apologize on behalf of all pineapples that this has been such a thing for you today. Like I'm saddened by the fact that, or maybe I should be happy that the pineapple is front and center in your brain today. That's
I like growing things. I like the whole cross-pollination, creating new varieties and stuff like that. I think it's cool. Especially because it's not GMO, right? It's like they actually went through the process of selecting the breeds.
Now that we're on this topic, hold just 1 second. Tony,
Yeah.
as a lover of ingredients, as a lover of fruits, as you've just mentioned, I got to show you what to me has been one of the pleasant surprises of Argentina in terms of produce. We all know, they have some things that they do well, like
What?
I'd say potatoes, arugula is just rampant here. It looks a little different. It looks like spinach because it grows wild. Literally, we've experienced that ourselves. Mm-hmm. But dude, the freaking strawberries, I guess, are just coming into season, and they're called frutillas here. Look at the color of these
that
things.
is amazing.
Dude, the strawberries.
That's the deepest, darkest strawberry color I've ever seen.
Dude, they're beautiful. Do you see these things?
You got a big spot on that one. Watch out. Got a little moldy spot.
But dude, they are just gorgeous, and they're not called fresas, just to confuse things even further in your Spanish journey. They call them frutilla.
Frutilla. Is that only those fresas, or that's what they call all strawberries?
No, it's what they call all strawberries. Huh. I went in there asking for strawberries. I said, hey, I'll take some of those strawberries. And they're like, we don't have fresas. I'll have some fresas. They say, we don't have fresas. And I'm like, what's that?
They don't have fresas. Do they know what you're asking for?
Of course they did. They just are they just need to be so in control of, this is Argentina. This is our word for the fresa. They go, oh, frutilla, like acting stupid. Like I made the mistake of I think if you have 100 Spanish-speaking countries, 99 out of 100 call them fresa because that's what the fucking word is. And then these guys call them frutilla. And the guy had to let me know.
So you went in. Did you see them in the window, or you just went in randomly asking for fresas?
So now that
you were just in the mood for. Wait, answer the question. Were you just in the mood for strawberries, or did you see them and like, can I have some of those fresas? Frutillas.
That.
Okay.
So I saw.
So you're pointing at them, and they're like,
correct.
No, we don't have.
Yeah, we don't have fresas. Anyway, it was.
It's because you got that little basket medallion around your neck. They're going to show you something.
I had this. Yeah, it was almost. Yeah, it was like a hey, you're in Argentina reminder. It's kind of like going to New York and say I'll have a hoagie. Like, oh, we don't sell hoagies here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Cool. That kind of thing. But anyway, yeah.
How's the flavor? Do you have any yet?
Very intensely flavored, dude. What's crazy to me is these strawberries. Just to give you an example, there's a term for a grape that is red fleshed. I think it's called Tarranger. I forget. Hold on. Red.
Like a wine term,
yeah, it's like a Alicante Boucher, for example. I got to look this up.
It's like a
Alicante
vinoculture term, not an Argentinian term, is what I'm saying.
That's
it's
correct.
Like
It is.
Got it.
It's so specific types of grapes that have red flesh, right? It's called a Teinturier, Teinturier, Teinturier. It sounds like a French word, Teinturier. It's essentially there's very few grapes that are both red in the skin and also the flesh is red. And Alicante Bouschet happens to be one of these grapes. It makes a very intensely colored.
Yeah, because like Blanc de Noir is like white wine from red grapes. Because so those would be like just red skinned grapes. Where are you going now?
I wanted to cut this strawberry for you because look how deeply colored it is on the inside.
Nice.
I was just, because most strawberries we get are white flesh on the inside. And when you cut these guys, they're like intensely colored throughout. So I don't know if they've got the specific dull rendition of the strawberry, but it's a beautiful strawberry. Anyway, I wanted to share with you.
Cool.
So
Nice.
back to
Thank
Argentina, back to our eating experiences. I had a very interesting one last week. So when was the last time, have you ever, Tony, in your professional career, did you ever say no when somebody wanted something cooked a specific way? As an example, hey, somebody said they want Kobe beef course, but they want it well done. Have you ever been in the shoes of a chef that, as a chef, where you decide this is my limit, or
Only with things that were kind of impossible to do. Like I remember pretty vividly someone wanting the carpaccio well done. You'd be like, no, just order something else at that point. Like we're not going to
throw it in the microwave or something, right?
Right. So that's like, it's a different day. And it's not like standing, it's not necessarily standing on principle. It's more just like, you're not going to want that. It's not what you think it is.
You're making a mistake here.
Right.
Okay.
Not that if we will only cook the salmon medium and if you want it over, get out. Nothing like that I can recall.
Okay. So we went to this, my buddy and I, we went to a really great steakhouse in Argentina, which, it's 9 out of every 10 restaurants in Argentina, unless they're selling pizza, is most likely going to be some sort of parrilla, right? The Argentinian grill. And so I was recommended what turned out to be an excellent spot. Let's see here, by our friend Martin from our friend Martin at Magnamontes, and it was called Madre Roja, Red Mom. Great spot, excellent food, and you always got to go through the classics in Argentina. In most of these steakhouses, but so we sit down. And they didn't do all the traditional cuts because the moment you land here, you're relearning your lexicon of cuts. The U.S., you've got your skirt steak, which here is entraña, right? And it, funny enough, is the most prized cut. I think we're all used to walking into a steakhouse in the U.S. and whether it's a tomahawk or a porterhouse, like the most expensive cuts are usually like those marquee cuts, right? Like a skirt steak is not going to be the most expensive cut at an American steakhouse.
Right.
Here, the skirt steak is the star of the show. It's what everyone wants, which I think is interesting. That they're not filet mignon, they're not ribeye, they're all about the entraña, right? But at this specific steakhouse, they had an even deeper lexicon of options in terms of cuts. And, most classic parrillas, you've got your chorizo, you've got your morcilla, you do empanadas, they'll do a couple different salads, and then you're diving into steak. So in this specific experience, I've been dying to switch it up because I fall prey to the typical ribeye thing, right? I always feel like it's It's marbled, it's rich, it's blah, 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 blah. Like, is this going to be the best example of the steak from this place? Well, finally I get here. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have entraña, right? So I order skirt steak, and, you know, the server is like, how would you like that cooked? And I said, a punto, right? Or I'm sorry.
To the point.
Jugoso, right?
Juicy.
Right? And jugoso is their terminology for medium rare, which is going to be like red and warm in the center. Great. Takes my order, no problem. My buddy orders they had like a special cut for the evening, which was a bone-in strip steak. So here they call it bife de chorizo, which is an interesting thing to call, you know what I mean? It's not chorizo, it's definitely bife, but they call the cut, the strip steak, bife de chorizo. But they had even another name for it because it was bone-in. So I guess instead of, you know, in the U.S. you might say New York strip, bone-in New York strip. Sometimes you'll even go a step further, call it a Kansas City strip, because I guess in Kansas City they keep the bone in. And then a step further, some people call it a shell steak, right? So he orders, I forget what they called it. It was called a corte clásico or something like that. He orders it, and they said, how would you like it? And he said, a punto. A punto is medium. So it's supposed to be rosy and warm, not cooked all the way through, of course, but medium, right? To which the server responded, no, the chef won't do that. And so we went through this whole process.
Well, which way did the chef prefer it to go? Less cooked or more cooked?
Less cooked. So the chef said the only way we will cook this is up to medium rare, which is jugoso. And then after that, it loses its tenderness, and we don't think you'll enjoy it. So he won't allow us to you can't order it like that. And he said, what if I were to get it medium rare, and for some reason, if it's a little under, you guys, could you like just pull it up in temperature for me a little bit? I said, no. We've had returns on this steak, and we will no longer allow people to order the strip steak.
So your buddy wanted it. He wanted medium.
He wanted a medium bone-in strip. And I was watching him melt. Just because, first off, all right, so here's how the experience goes. We go to this spot, cool vibe, they're very nice. They sit us outside because they said that they have a full dining room. This is like at 8:30. The dining room is fucking empty, all right? Let me just start there. But we're like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Recommended by a friend. It's going to be a great spot.
Well, it gets busy at 10 p.m., right? So this was
that's
like
the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that we're like fucking watching this empty dining room. Like, damn, you can't just squeeze in like a little two-top for us to like watch the grill and all that. And they're like, no, like, you know, which is fine. We sat outside. I'm not gonna, you know, we walked in, so we're not fussing about this. Well, so then we're sitting outside, and dude, it's like, let me just say, by the time we left at 10:30, which was a 2-hour dining experience, the fucking place was just starting to get like their covers in. You know what I mean? Like people were like hanging out the door. We're like watching it start to develop, and I'm like, I'm still beyond. I'm still trying to like, again, as a Spaniard, I understand the eating late thing. Right. I just don't understand in a country that is 90% steakhouses how you fucking accomplish that. How do you eat a fucking ribeye at 11:30 at night and not fucking have gout? I just don't.
I guess they don't. It depends on when you go to bed, right?
I guess so, dude. But it's insane to me.
They're not just like rolling home and passing out. They must like, you know, stay up for a while.
Dude, if I get froggy and have like nuts, like some salted roasted nuts after 12 o'clock, my sleep is fucked up. Like that's it. You know what I mean? These people are fucking muckling down kilo fucking sides of beef. You know what I mean? Like at nighttime. It's just insane to me. But anyway, so what happened was, like, the lead up to this is, you know, considering that you go to a new country and a new place and you're getting acclimated and you have a very the classic experience of the parrilla, of the Argentinian steakhouse. You go to this other spot that's a little more, you know, under the radar, and it was fantastic. The food was very, very good. But you've got this menu, and now all of a sudden you've got to re-educate yourself on the entire fucking thing because they've got cuts that you've never seen before, and you're trying
Is it actually different cut? I know some places have actually truly different cuts, but is it just a different name and you're trying to figure out you know the Spanish names of
so I know the classics, right? I know
Right.
I know the ojo de bife, which is actually a ribeye with the outer cap with the spinalis taken off. It's essentially a filet mignon of the rib. That's a very classic cut here. Bife de chorizo, right? The strip steak. Entraña, right? Then there's like banderita, which is essentially like a cut from the bone-in rib portion. But dude, like just as an example, the ribeye portion has all these extra cuts you've never heard of. I forget the name of it, so I'm not a good journalist here. But I actually got a steak like 2 weeks ago when I first landed. I got this cut which was in between the ribeye and the strip, and it had the bone, like the last little rib bone on it, but it also had the beginnings of like the bone-in strip. So it was the bone that connects the two. And it has its own name.
There's like 2 cuts in the whole cow. Yeah.
There's exactly right, but it has its own name. And when I walked into this other place, I saw it hanging at a very high, like 3 feet above the grill. And I said, "What's that you're hanging on?" Like, and it's on like the meat hook. It looked cool. And he's like, "Oh, it's the blah, blah, blah." You know what I mean? It's the fucking, and I'm like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the one cut between the ribeye and the strip, and you get a little bit of each of the bones." I'm like, "I want that. I want that." I didn't even know, you know what I mean? But anyway, so
you have to be pretty invested in the beef experience in order to get that, avant-garde with your cuts.
Oh yeah.
I'm like between strip fillet and ribeye, I'm covered.
Well, right. And dude, hanger every once in a while.
Sure.
You got the skirt steak, which I got this time.
I would love skirt steak too. That I could see how that could be a favorite.
Well, yes, and from my experience with the skirt steak, it was fantastic. I had a really good experience. The thing that's interesting is also
was it
like
jugoso?
It was no, it was a punto. It was when it came out, it was pink, which is all part of this story. So okay. So my buddy is like, "Hey, I want to have that special corte, the special cut, the bone-in strip, but I want it a punto." And then they're like, "No, we won't do it." And then I go into this whole fucking deep explanation. I'm trying to deliver empathy from both sides because I see my buddy's blood starting to fucking boil. He's like, "I'm fucking paying for the steak. Why can't I just have it medium?" And I said, "Bro, they're not going to do it. Let's not let this ruin dinner. Let's just move the fuck on. Choose a different steak. How about a ribeye?" And he's like, "I don't want something that fatty." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm getting a skirt steak. Why don't we split my skirt steak and something else?" He's like, "I want a strip steak." I'm like, "Here we fucking go. Here we fucking go." I don't know what to do here. So now I'm being the diplomat, and my Spanish is a touch sharper. He's a very good Spanish speaker, but mine's a little sharper. So I'm trying to deliver between the service staff and my buddy a little bit more of the whole story.
You basically stepped into GM mode of the floor, and you're trying to
I also just wanted to fucking enjoy my meal, and I was locked into the entraña. I was locked into a skirt steak, and I'm like, "Here we fucking go." We choose a new place. It's not like it's a little bit more under the cut, and I'm just. Can we just fucking...
What do you mean you choose a new place? Oh, you didn't choose. This was the place you chose. Okay, you didn't go into somewhere
like
else.
Our buddies sent us there. It was like a non-touristy spot. It was like, one of these, and I just want to fucking enjoy the steak.
Can I ask a question before I derail you one more time? Have you found that the temperatures that their medium rare is what you would consider medium rare and medium and so forth? Or is it like a little bit more in one direction or the other? So you go some places in medium rare is like they have different interpretations of what that means.
Well, so yes, and it's tough on this one, Tony, because in most of my experience, most restaurants and most servers say that the chef's recommendation is a punto, right? Which is medium. It's pink. It's not red. And everywhere we go, I say jugoso, they go, "Are you sure?" I'm like, yeah, I want it jugoso.
I was just curious
like red.
because I feel like they might like take it too far to rare when you go like
Well,
jugoso.
I think that's why they specify. When they say jugoso, you're like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I like red, right? So, but almost
What is
everyone...
what's do they do? Was rare just like a no? That they don't even really do rare. It sounds like
They do rare. They call it vuelta y vuelta.
vuelta
Or vuelta y vuelta. So like one side, another side.
one side,
Right?
other side. Okay.
That's what they call rare. Or I've heard them call it azul, like a black and blue.
blue.
What we call, right?
That's not rare though. You know what I mean? That's blue is not
well,
rare.
that's
right.
right.
They're like, are you serious? And it's like if you're not going to get it a punto, they're just going to like write you off and like kiss each side on a grill and like send it out.
Maybe, right? So, well, and that's the interesting thing is that this is such an a punto steak culture from what I've experienced. Everybody's cool with a little bit more than medium, right? Mm-hmm. So for us to go to this place and ask for this steak and then for them to be so specifically opposed, not even opposed, we won't do it. Mm-hmm. Then I'm like, all right, so this must be a real medium rare. Because if you're that fucking thing about the thing, then it must be a thing, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, so then my buddy starts to go off in this thing. He's like, we went to the Basque Country because we've experienced that together. He's like, and then I fucking, we order a fucking steak the way the chef says, and then all of a sudden I've got a kilo fucking thing on my plate, and it's just barely seared, right? And now I'm chewing through fat, and he's just already pissed off. He's like, I know how this is gonna go. And I'm like, bro, let me just talk to them and I'll explain. Mm-hmm. So I said, listen, we've been to places where it's a thick ass cut, and then it's hard to chew through it because blah blah blah. And they're like, well, then he should choose another cut. That's all he should choose another cut. And I'm like, I know. So then we're talking to the server and a very kind other server, and it was obvious within this interaction that we were dealing with a new server. Okay? Because somebody else came in to save us. It was like a female server came along and she was like, hey, what's going on? And we're like, oh, my buddy. Then I try to fucking do the diplomat thing again. I'm trying to over-explain. Hey, you know what I mean? If it's a thick-ass cut, I'm thinking the strip steak probably is. You know what I mean? Like it's too much blood sometimes, or it's chewy, or the fat doesn't render. Like, is there any way we could you want us to sign a fucking waiver? Done that before. But this is actually the first time we can't order medium. I could get it if it's well done. I get it. But I'm saying, can I fucking pay a lot of money for a bone-in special strip steak and just get it how the rest of the fucking country normally orders a steak? And they said no. So anyway, then I'm like, all right, well, look, you got a bunch of cuts. It's going to take us a while to look through this thing fucking again. And she's like, oh, I've got a whole book that explains the cuts. I'm like, oh, that would have been fucking nice. After the 30 minutes it took us to wind, and that's why I went with it. How
many cuts do you think were on the menu? How many different?
I'd say there was 20 to 25 cuts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff. There's flank. I mean, dude, there was all kinds of, and which is cool. I appreciate that, but it's like, for somebody who doesn't have the intrigue or the fucking patience to go through a whole fucking cliff notes of steak interaction, he just wanted a strip steak, and I get it. He didn't want, whatever. They also didn't have filet mignon, which we found out during the conversation, because we're like, hey, he's not looking for something rich, like a ribeye. And she's
something on the leaner side.
She's like, oh, like a filet mignon. I'm like, yeah, how about that? We'll get a filet mignon. Can we get the filet mignon medium? She's like, yes. And I'm like, perfect. And she's like, but we don't have filet mignon. I'm like, all right, so I thought we were I looked her in the eyes. You know that moment, and you're like, I just want to fucking eat. Can we because my steak is not cooking. It's not in.
Right.
Because the other person's steak has still not been finalized.
You don't know that the cooks don't even show up until 9:30 probably. So
right, yeah, they're probably pushing just like that fucking guy at San Telmo. So finally, we're looking through this essentially it's like the Rosetta Stone of beef, right? Mm-hmm. It's like shows the French word for it, it shows the American translation, and then it has like what that means for the Argentinian cut. And then it's not explained to us that this is the whole fucking glossary. This is all of it. This is any cut they might ever have.
Not what's in the house at that time. Right.
So we went through a fucking whole thing. We'll do this one. Sorry, you can't order that medium rare. Or medium. Okay, we'll do this one. We don't have that. Finally, after the whole fucking thing of you're not allowed to order the strip steak medium rare, we land on flank steak and a skirt steak, right?
That was easy.
And easy peasy, right? So we get our apps. We got some beautiful empanadas. We got some morcilla. I want to find this place because it was actually a pretty funny interaction.
And chinchulin?
Chinchulines. Look my buddy is the bomb. He's a great guy. But I think the moment that I ordered some shit like that, chinchulin is just for those who don't know, are they're the thyme. They're not even. They're the intestine.
You're thinking of mollejas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mollejas are sweetbreads, and chinchulin are like an intestine. That are amazingly delicious. You wouldn't think so, but we covered all that in a previous show.
They're excellent. Yes. So anyway, we go through this whole fucking thing, and finally we end up with flank steak, and we end up with skirt steak. He orders his medium. I order mine medium rare. Great meal, having a good time, blah, blah, blah. The steaks come out.
What kind of wine did you get? What kind of wine did they have? I know that they didn't have a lot of, primarily Argentinian wines are available in Argentina right now, right? Because of the whole bunny situation.
Yeah, it's
so you're drinking like exclusively Argentinian wines down there, which is great. I'm just curious what you may have gotten, how you liked it.
So I believe this evening we got a bottle of Cabernet Franc. And it was good. It was a good bottle of wine. The wine here is great. Forgive me. Let me start over. The wine here, price to, it's like the beef, price to quality ratio is incredibly, it's incredibly high. But there's not the high highs, and I also believe there's not the low lows. It's just very, very good wine. There's not like, I haven't had like a, oh my God, aha moment. But I've also not had a wine where I'm like, I won't drink this. And
that sounds like my style. You're just like, you're safe with any kind of
it's true.
You go to, right?
It's true. So the steaks come out, and they had some of the most beautiful beef tallow French fries that I have ever seen. Like just rustic, skin on, thick cut, like a solid 3/4 inch, like a thick boy French fry. It was fantastic. We get the steaks, and dude, let me just tell you, and maybe this is one of the reasons why they love entraña so much, the skirt steak. Bro, it was a kilo. This thing, it was the whole skirt. They don't give you a slice of skirt steak. They give you the whole skirt steak. It must have been
like 3 feet long.
Yes. Dude, it was rolled up. When it came to the table, it was like, how do I describe this? It was like a carpet that you were about to throw in the back of your car, but it unraveled right before you threw it up there. Not in any negative way. It wasn't like, I didn't expect it to be a rollatine or anything, but it was just so large that they had to curl the edges underneath itself in order for the skirt steak to fit on the plate.
So it was grilled and then folded. It wasn't folded up.
That's correct. Yeah, it was like grilled and then like folded on top of itself so it would fit on the plate. And then the other, the flank steak was like a nice solid, like it wasn't the whole flank, thank God, but it was like a solid half of the flank steak. First bite, this is chewy. And I'm like, let me slice it for you. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, and it's like, you need to know these things. Like you cannot cut along the same tissue line of a skirt steak or of a
Cross,
flank
yeah.
steak
Cross the
and
grain.
expect to have a good fucking time. It's not going to be a good time. You got to cut across, right? So then I'm cutting across, and then, because the skirt, for example, let's say it's this long, you unwind it, and it's a long skirt. You got to cut it into like 4-inch pieces and then cut across this way, right?
Right.
So he's watching me do this, and he's like, I can just see the frustration. And it's not just because you have to have a certain slicing technique to enjoy your steak. It's also because both of these steaks were the same exact temperature. He ordered medium. It was pink. I ordered medium rare, wanting red, and it was pink. And I literally, in this moment, I'm like, man, I wonder if he just would have gotten that steak the way they said you had to get it, if it would have just come out
That was
the way it
my
was.
first question. Yeah, exactly. Once you start to like try to move too many things around in a place where you don't know what's what, you just got to go for it. You don't have a frame of reference yet for how they're going to do it.
Listen, you know me. I agree. I am a fan of just going for it. And I'm also a fan of, if it's not good, fuck it.
Right.
Fuck it. I'll
You
talk
better
about
luck
it on the
next time.
podcast.
Right.
Right. I'll just
But I
talk shit
think
on the
that
podcast.
skirt steak is kind of hard to do medium rare, honestly. It's easy to do on the rarer side of rare or medium, and I actually kind of think I like it better medium. It can be kind of chewy, mouthful.
Skirt steak, you're saying?
Yeah. Plus, if they kind of wrapped it, if they had to like fold it up to get on the plate, it's going to be steaming in there. You have to come to the plate. You have to slice it pretty quickly for it to not continue to. So what? We're talking about like a 1/2 inch thick. 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick.
That's
right?
correct. Which is exactly why I got it mid-rare, thinking if I got it up, to medium, that it would have overcooked because it's so thin. Overthinking every fucking part of this thing, of course.
I love it, but I also kind of always tend to want to get like more of a char on it than to cook it like medium rare, like to get that nice rare. So I kind of like the char more than like the perfect cook on the inside sometimes with those. So I tend to carry it over a little bit.
I am a big fan I'm a big fan of the char. I mean, to me, the char is half the beauty of a steak. Mm-hmm. I love the caramelization. I love the crust. So I'm with you. Like, if you're going to say, hey, I can get you a crust and it's going to be medium, I'd rather take the crust and the medium than no crust medium rare any day of the week.
Right.
Anyway, so after going through an entire existential, I just wanted to enjoy my meal. Then we're just like, then the following 30 minutes are just like, I should have just got the strip steak. I should have got, you know what I mean? And here I am, it's like,
after you're cutting the steak for your date.
Exactly. So we've got, it was called corte vaca. I'm looking at the menu now. So
I thought it was called red something, rojo something.
Oh, it's called Madre Rojas.
Madre Rojas. Okay.
Was the restaurant. Listen, I had a fucking fantastic time. Listen, I actually was like, wow, this is ballsy. It's ballsy that a chef or whoever's in charge says no. That's ballsy to me. Just because I wouldn't want to put the servers through this. You know what I mean? It's like, you want a fucking Wagyu strip steak and you want it cooked through? Be my motherfucking guest, man.
Yeah.
Be my
I think
guest.
it's hard to know because you don't know the history of like how many times something may have been sent back due to just somebody not knowing what that means and so forth. When you're dealing with like a lot of international people, it's a little bit of a crapshoot to understand like what they mean when they mean like a punto in Argentina is medium. You said right? Did I get that right?
A punto, which is medium in Argentina, is probably what's well done in the Basque country.
But like a point in French is medium rare, So there's a lot of different variety in there between what a different international crowd can think.
Well, I will finish by saying this. It was an excellent meal, and I really enjoyed Madre Rojas. I did not enjoy being a diplomat to the dining experience. I also
getting pulled back into your former job.
Oh, dude. And the other thing about it is, I think we've probably been to 5 or 6 different parrillas at this point, Tony. Not a single one of these places has had chimichurri that is green.
What?
All of them are red. All of them are red.
So interesting. So red and also just dried herbs, not fresh herbs.
Yes, that's correct. And I think because they put chili, like pepperoncino in there, and they put pimenton, I think, but it's not smoked. It's not like the super intensely flavored. It's more like the sweet pimenton, sweet paprika. But it feels like from all the most recent experiences we've had that the chimichurri is all dried, all red, and mostly like not fucking green, not shallots, and nothing what you'd expect it to be. Let's just say that.
We're going to have to look at those. I mean, it was a while ago that we got our lesson in making chimichurri roll down. I'll have to look at that again. Like the kind of like the fermented garlic. Is that what it was? Like they kind of put the garlic in vinegar and put it on top of the fridge for a little bit.
Right.
I'm going to have to look at all that again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just a reminder to everybody, Tony and I have recorded a bunch of incredible footage at a few different places. Argentina is what currently is starting to come out on OverSeasoned TV. You can watch, if any of you out there would like to see Tony in the flesh, well, maybe not in the flesh, but Tony behind the gridiron, in the grill. Like, so we ended up doing this incredible grilling asado experience for a bunch of our Argentinian friends. And I heard no complaints, Tony. There's even a special surprise at the end for all of you to see, as I was able to smuggle a bottle of American chimichurri, and it wasn't confiscated at customs, and I was able to smuggle some American chimichurri. So if you guys want to check it out, go to OverSeasoned TV on YouTube, or you can go to our website. It'll direct you right to the YouTube channel, and you can check out some of these things for your own eyes.
Such an influencer.
I'm a vinfluencer.
Ah, I like that.
Me too. I just made it up.
On that
anyway,
note,
man.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, more of Xavier's beef escapades.
Beef with Argentina.
Beef with Argentina. All right. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
OverSeasoned Podcast was brought to you by Over Easy Office, outsourced bookkeeping solution.